Most people think saving $10,000 will make them rich. It won't. But what it will do is quietly change the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you move through life. A year ago, you were stressed every time your phone buzzed. A bill? A low balance alert? That sinking feeling in your chest felt normal. You weren't completely broke, but you weren't safe either. Then something shifted. You started making small decisions differently, saying no more often, skipping things that didn't really matter. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like you were missing out on life. But slowly, that feeling faded, and something stronger replaced it. Control. One day, you open your account, and there it is, $10,000. Just sitting there. No noise, no celebration. But in that quiet moment, something clicks. For the first time in your life, you realize you're no longer surviving. You're finally in control. At first, nothing around you really changes. You still live in the same place. You still wake up at the same time. Your life looks exactly the same from the outside. But inside, everything feels different. Because now, when your phone buzzes, you don't panic anymore. A bill comes in, you don't feel that tight pressure in your chest. You just handle it. That's new, and it's powerful. Before, every unexpected expense felt like a problem. A car repair, a medical bill, even a small emergency could throw your entire life off track. But now, it's just an inconvenience. You realize something most people never understand. Money doesn't just buy things, it buys peace. And that peace starts to change how you act. You stop rushing decisions. You stop saying yes to everything. You start thinking long-term. Because for the first time, you have breathing room. And when you have breathing room, you start making smarter moves. Now that you have your first 10,000, something else starts to happen. You notice how your choices feel lighter. Buying groceries, you think before you swipe. Going out with friends, you know exactly what you can afford. Even small decisions feel intentional. That control, it grows. Before, you avoided long-term plans because you were scared. Rent, bills, emergencies, everything felt like a trap. Now you're thinking months ahead. Planning vacations, building emergency funds, even exploring investments. And your confidence isn't just about money. It's about life. You carry yourself differently. You speak differently. You start attracting opportunities because your energy has changed. People notice it. Friends ask how you manage stress. Family asks about your strategy. And deep down, you know, it's not luck. It's discipline. It's patience. It's control. Saving 10,000 isn't just a number. It's a shift in identity. From surviving to thriving. And this is only the beginning. But here's where things get even more interesting. Saving $10,000 doesn't just change how you spend. It changes what you value. You stop chasing short-term happiness. The quick dopamine hits don't feel as exciting anymore. Buying random things, it starts to feel empty. Instead, you begin to focus on things that actually matter. Security, freedom, time. You realize that every dollar you don't waste is a step closer to a life you control. And slowly, your habits start to evolve. You track your money. You question your purchases. You think before you act. Not because you have to, but because you want to. That's the real shift. Discipline is no longer painful. It becomes part of who you are. And once that happens, everything starts compounding. Your savings grow faster. Your decisions get sharper. Your future becomes clearer. And for the first time, you're not just reacting to life. You're designing it. And then, something unexpected starts to happen. You stop only thinking about saving money and start thinking about making more of it. Because now you finally have something most people don't. A foundation. Before, every dollar you earned was already spoken for. Bills, expenses, survival. There was no room to think bigger. But now, you have options. You begin to ask different questions. How can I grow this? Where should I invest? What skills can I learn to earn more? And that curiosity changes everything. You're no longer stuck in a cycle of earning and spending. You're building. You start noticing opportunities everywhere. A side hustle idea, a new skill, a smarter way to use your time. And for the first time, money isn't something you chase. It's something you manage. That shift, from consumer to creator, is what separates people who stay stuck from people who build real wealth. At this point, something else shifts inside you. You stop being afraid of money and start understanding it. Before, the idea of investing felt risky, complicated, almost like gambling. But now you see it differently. You realize the real risk was never investing. The real risk was staying stuck, keeping all your money sitting still, slowly losing value. That's what was actually holding you back. So you start small. You learn. You explore. You make careful moves. Not to get rich overnight, but to build something real. And yes, sometimes you feel unsure, but it's different now. Because you're not acting out of desperation anymore. You're acting with intention. You understand that money grows with time, patience, and consistency. And that changes how you play the game. You're no longer guessing. You're thinking. And when you start thinking like that, you stop fearing the future and start preparing for it. And then you start seeing something most people never notice. Your money begins to work, even when you don't. At first, it's small, almost unnoticeable. A few dollars here, a little growth there. But over time, it adds up. And that's when it hits you. You're no longer trading time for every dollar. Some of it is working quietly in the background. That idea changes everything. Because now your goal isn't just to earn more. It's to build systems that earn for you. You start valuing time differently. Late nights scrolling? Less appealing. Wasting hours? Feels expensive. Because now you understand. Time is your most valuable asset. And money is just a tool to protect it. You begin designing a life where work is a choice, not a trap. More freedom, more control, more space to breathe. And it all started with that first 10,000. At some point, you stop calling yourself someone who saves money, and you start seeing yourself as someone who builds wealth. That might sound small, but it changes everything, because your identity shapes your actions. Before, saving $10,000 felt like an achievement. Now, it feels like a starting point. You're not impressed by the number anymore. You're focused on what it can become. You think in terms of years, not days. You think in terms of growth, not spending. And slowly, your entire mindset upgrades. You stop comparing yourself to people who spend more and start learning from people who build more. That shift is rare. Most people never make it. They earn more, but still feel stuck. You've crossed that line where money is no longer emotional. It's strategic. It's intentional. It's a tool. And once you reach that point, there's no going back to your old way of thinking. Now, the changes are no longer just inside you. They start showing up in your real life. Not in flashy ways, but in quiet, powerful ones. You don't stress over small expenses anymore. You don't feel pressure to impress people. In fact, you start caring less about what others think. Because you know where you're going. Your lifestyle becomes simpler, but stronger. You spend with purpose. You save without struggle. And you invest with confidence. People around you begin to notice. Not because you're showing off, but because your energy is different. You're calmer, more focused, more in control. Some people get inspired. Others don't understand. And that's okay. Because this journey was never about them. It was about you, building a life that feels stable, secure, and truly yours. And now, for the first time, that life is starting to become real. And then, one day, you realize something most people spend their whole lives chasing. Wealth was never about having more money. It was about having control. Control over your time. Control over your choices. Control over your future. That $10,000, it didn't change your life because of the number. It changed your life because of what it taught you. Discipline, patience, consistency. And now, you see the bigger picture. This isn't about hitting one goal. It's about building a system that keeps growing. You're no longer focused on quick wins. You're focused on long-term freedom. Years from now, this moment will look small, but it was the moment everything shifted. Because you stopped hoping for a better life and started building one, step by step, decision by decision. And that's how real wealth is created. And when you look back, it almost feels unreal, not because of the money, but because of the person you've become. A year ago, you were worried about making it through the month. Now, you're thinking about the next 5 years. That version of you, stressed, uncertain, always reacting, feels like a different person. And maybe that's the biggest change of all. Because this journey was never just about saving money. It was about becoming someone who doesn't break under pressure. Someone who thinks clearly, acts intentionally, and stays consistent, even when it's hard. You built that. No shortcuts, no luck, just small decisions, repeated over time. And now, standing here, you realize something powerful. If you can do this once, you can do it again. Bigger, smarter, stronger. And this time, you're not starting from zero. So here's the truth most people will never hear. Saving your first $10,000 isn't the finish line. It's the beginning. It's the moment you prove to yourself that you can change your life, that you can go from stress to control, from confusion to clarity, from surviving to building. And once you realize that, there's no limit to what you can do next, because the same discipline, the same focus, the same patience can take you to 50,000, to 100,000, and beyond. But it all starts with that first step, that first decision to take control. So if you're still at the beginning of your journey, start today, not tomorrow, not someday, today. And if you're already on this path, keep going, because everything you want is built one decision at a time. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe.